Today we're on page 32 of our note guide, Special Products of Polynomials 2.3. When you square a binomial, you multiply the binomial by itself. You don't just square each term of the binomial. So looking at example 1, we have x minus 2 squared. This is equal to x minus 2 times x minus 2. And we learned how to do this, last time. We take the FOILing method and we multiply the first, outside, inside, and last terms of the binomials. So let's start by doing the first terms. If I take x times x, that gives me x squared. If I take negative 2 times x, that gives us negative 2x. If I take the inside terms, the I for inside, I get negative 2 times x, which is another negative 2x. And the last two terms, when I times that together, I have negative 2 times negative 2 gives me positive 4. Then I'm going to combine the middle two terms because they are like terms. I have negative 2x minus 2x gives me negative 4x when I combine those. And my final answer will be x squared minus 4x plus 4. In example 1, we have x plus 4 squared. This is equal to x plus 4 times x plus 4. Now we multiply the binomial. So we take x times x to give us x squared. X times 4 gives us 4x plus 4x. Then the inside terms is 4 times x gives us another plus 4x. And the last terms are 4 times 4 is 16, so we add 16. In the middle, we have 4x plus 4x. We can combine them because they're like terms to be 8x plus 16. On example 2, we have x minus 7 squared. This is equal to x minus 7 times x minus 7. So we are just going to FOIL them out. The first terms are x times x, which is x squared. We add the 1 and 1 to get 2. X times negative 7 gives us negative 7x. The inside terms are negative 7 times x to give us another negative 7x. And the last terms together are negative 7 times negative 7 to give us a positive 49. We're going to combine the negative 7x and the negative 7x to get negative 14x. We bring down the x squared and we bring down the 49. X squared minus 14x plus 49 will be our answer. On number 3, we have 3x plus 4 all squared. To evaluate this, we write 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. Then we FOIL them out. We take our first terms, which are 3x times 3x. 3 times 3 is 9, and x times x is x squared. 3x times 4 will give us plus 12x. Our inside terms, the I is another plus 12x. 3 times 4 is 12. And the last term are 4 times 4, which is 16. We combine the middle two terms, 12x plus 12x is 24x, plus we bring down the 16 and we bring down the 9x squared. So our answer will be 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. Now we're moving over to number 4, 2x minus 3 squared. We rewrite it as 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. We times our first terms together, 2x times 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, and x times x is x squared, 4x squared. Then we take 2x times negative 3 to get negative 6x. Our inside terms would be negative 3 times 2 is another negative 6x, and our last terms would be negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. We combine the middle two terms together, negative 6x minus 6x gives us negative 12x. We bring down the 4x squared and the 9, and our answer is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Now next we have we're going to write a polynomial that represents the area of the square. Now when I'm looking at number 5, I have x plus 3 on the top and x plus 3 on the side. This is equal to an x plus 3 square. Okay, so this would be x plus 3 squared. Now we can do this because when we're finding area, we're taking the length times the width. So if I had 2 squareds times 4 squareds, this would be 2 times 4, which would give me 8 squares. So here I'm taking x plus 3 times x plus 3. This is the same as x plus 3 squared. So we're going to just FOIL this out. We times x to give us x squared. X times 3 gives us 3x. And then the inside terms, 3 times x are plus 3x. And the last term are 3 times 3, which is 9. We combine those middle two terms together. We get x squared. 3x plus 3x gives us 6x. And then at the end, we have plus 9. Now let's look at the area model up here. If I take the x times x, I get an x squared. 3 times x gives me 3x. And 3 times x gives me another 3x. And 3 times 3 gives me 9. So that 9 lines up with the 9 in the answer. The two 3x's add together to give us 6x. And then that blue corner would give us our x squared. We can do this with problem number 6 as well. We have x plus 4 plus x on the top and x plus 4 plus x on the side. Now, if I add x plus 4 plus x, this is going to give me 2x plus 4 on top. And the same thing happens with the side. I have x plus x is 2x plus 4. This is equal to 2x plus 4 squared, which equals 2x plus 4 times 2x plus 4. They're the exact same thing. We FOIL them out. The first term is 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. 2x times 4 gives me 8x. On the inside, I have 4 times 2x gives me a plus 8x. And 4 times 4 gives me plus 16. If I combine those middle two terms, 8x plus 8x gives me 6 plus 16x. So the answer for this problem will be 4x squared plus 16x plus 16. Now let's look at the area model and see how this compares to our answer. If I take all of the blue squares, we have x by x on the top and x on the side. This gives me x squared. If I add all of those together, I get 4x squared. All the green are 4 times x. I have 4 of those, and that gives me 16x. And then on that middle square, the tan square, I have 4 times 4, which ends up giving me 16. So my final answer there will be 4x squared plus 16x plus 16. So you get it, that same answer, either way, with the area model or by doing it by hand. On page 33, we're looking at this sum, using the sum and difference pattern. Two binomials with the same term but different signs are called conjugates. So if I have x plus 3 in this first example, my conjugate would be x minus 3. Now this forms a special pattern where every time the middle two terms will cancel. Let's see how this works. If I take x times x, I get x squared. X times negative 3, I get negative 3x. On the inside terms, I get 3 times x gives me a positive 3x in purple there. And then the last two terms would be a positive 3 times a negative 3, which gives us a negative 9. Now we're going to combine those middle two terms. A negative 3x plus a positive 3x is going to equal 0x. They cancel each other out, and it's going to be gone. It's going to be plus 0x, but we don't need to write that. We just write x squared minus 9. So this is that sum and difference pattern. If you have a positive and a negative version of the same thing, the middle two terms cancel. So on number 7, when I FOIL this out, I have x squared minus 2x and plus 2x. And then at the end, I have 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. The minus 2x and the positive 2x cancel to be 0x. So I have x squared plus 0x minus 4. But we don't need to write 0x. 0x is just 0. So we have x squared minus 4. Now here on number 8, we're going to multiply this out. 3x times 3x gives us 9x squared plus 12x for our outside two terms. Negative 4 times 3 gives us a minus 12x. And the last two terms together would be negative 4 times positive 4, which is negative 16. Now once again, because these are conjugates, one is positive and one is negative, we get 9x squared minus 16. Now, I really love problem number 9. It's just kind of a fun example. Your iris, it controls how much light enters your eye. It's the black part on the inside of your eye. So I am going to find the area of a circle. Our eyes are in the form of a circle. So the area of our circle is pi r squared. This is for any circle. It follows this formula. So I'm going to go ahead and take pi and times it by the radius of the pupil. Now to find the pupil, I'm going to take the outside part, the blue part, I'm going to take that 6 millimeters and minus x. Because x can change. It can get bigger or smaller, so it depends on how much light there is in the room to say how big x is going to be at the certain amount of time. So we have pi times 6 minus x squared. This is equal to pi times 6 minus x times 6 minus x. Now I can times this in any order, but I'm going to take my two parentheses parts and I'm going to times those together first. I'm going to take 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times negative x gives us negative 6x. On the inside, I have negative x times 6 gives us negative 6x. And the last two terms are negative x times negative x. A negative times a negative is a positive. X times x is x squared. We're going to combine those middle two terms. We have negative 6x minus 6x, which is negative 12x. I just dropped down the 36 and the x squared. Now, on the outside of this, I have a pi. I need to distribute that pi into each piece of my equation. Pi times 36 is 36 pi. Pi times negative 12x is going to be negative 12 pi x. And on the last part, it's plus pi x squared. Now, I want to write this in standard form, so I put my highest power first. Pi x squared minus 12 pi x and plus 36 pi at the end. And this would be the equation for the pupil of your eyelid if the outside circle was equal to 6 millimeters.